Obviously, we can kind of see, right, we pushed up and above this 1 hour fair value gap we were looking at yesterday. Right here. So the one we've been really kind of using for a while. Up and through that, we're using it as support now. We've actually gone up and above. Right, if I refine it to this one. Right, you'll see how we use that. So we close above it here. Use it as support, and now we're just sitting inside the new week opening gap actually before the CPI drop. And like I said, at this point, I really have no bias. I don't ever really try to forecast CPI. I mean, ideally, I'd like to see these highs get cleared. Remember all these relative equal highs. Also paired with, right? So this is an old daily buy side pull. And you'll see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, really 6 relative equal highs sitting here. 7 if you want to count this one. So let's say, right, for shits and gigs, we're just kind of guessing, fully guesswork. Maybe something like an initial Judas to like run sell side, right? Because we have equal lows here. So maybe we get something to where we run out sell stops and then shoot for the buy side resting here. We'll kind of label the first one just the closest buy side, which would be here. Right, so we have our objectives here. Right, and now we watch and see what takes place. Right, so buy side, say that we're gonna go for sell side instead. I would look for really this fair value gap, right, relative equal lows here. Yeah, so if we're gonna get animated and attack lower, perhaps this fair value gap, these relative equal lows. But like I said, ideally I would like to see if we can't run out these highs up here. So we'll give it a minute and then watch as the fireworks. All right, let us see. Buy side, sell side, and then midnight level as well is what I would be watching. We love that. Beautiful. So CPI often is very one-sided. And there goes, right, the buy side we were looking for. So the obvious highs here resting. Let's go back to the hourly 15. Even hourly. Beautiful. So now we've just cleared that highest swing point here. Notice that. Cool. So no Judas swing. Right, CPI really kind of one-sided. So we don't even go any lower, just straight up. Volume imbalance. Looks like we want to keep running. Let's see, we got this here. That'd be next. Right, that's a daily swing point here, which, yeah, we're gonna hit that. I'd watch and monitor this potential volume imbalance. Right? Does it give you the volume imbalance type of entry we look for? So it hasn't hit this candle's close yet. But right, we may just run straight into that buy side, not even come back. Right, CPI doesn't want to give anyone an opportunity. And there is, oh, wait for it, equal highs. Volume imbalance again. This one I would like to really just deliver into buy side. If we're going to do that, if we're going to create this volume imbalance here. Drag out the... Let's know we have equal highs sitting here. So that volume imbalance got closed in, really negating it. I still would like to see this one hold. Right, we created perfectly equal highs here. Let me show you what it was again. It's this daily chart. So literally this daily swing point. We have perfectly equal daily highs now. So I would still definitely look for this to be reached. Right, from the fair value gap or the volume imbalance. Either one of those is fine. They're kind of paired together. And just a reminder, we'll probably wrap this one up here pretty soon, honestly. I just wanted to see the original delivery and kind of my protocol as I spoke about. CPI, I don't really look to trade the mornings because, right, we're going to have this huge fair value gap here. All right, so huge fair value gap. Let me actually take a peek real quick. Yeah, right, and as long as we stay up here, there's probably going to be a huge opening range gap as well. And because of that, right, it just doesn't allow me kind of the precision that I would like. Because there's nowhere to really refine this huge fair value gap, right? We have a lot of like highs that could be used, but it's just too much of a space, like too much open area for my liking. So I'll give price just time to play out, right? Give us more price action, and then we'll look to engage. Nice. This buy side. Well, I tried to get one little CPI pickup, but left without me. Right here. So I had a limit set for that volume imbalance. Stop just 2 ticks underneath it. And we've ran into that buy side, but well, we don't give us the entry. Just miss it. What is that? Oof. Less than a handle. Unfortunate. It'll happen. But now we get rid of it. And yeah, now at this point, really I have no type of bias. That was really that last objective for me, right? The daily swing point, we could rate it equal highs. So if we came back into that discount, pretty easy long setup into that high. Right, we still hold the structure, but we simply deliver into the fair value gap instead of the volume imbalance. Didn't dare to enter. That's fair. For me, I kind of understand that this is order flow in itself. So I really had no worry of price returning into this before that buy side was met. I really knew we wouldn't get below this low prior to that, which is why my stop was just 2 handles. And that's more just a CPI understanding, right? CPI is not going to give you a lot of retracement. Like when it has an objective like this, right? So obviously we were correct in our outlook, right? That buy side was the target. So on CPI days, when we're pushing for something like this, right? It's not going to retrace any. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say for certain. Of course, you have to go back through, kind of look at the old data yourself. But something that I've picked up on and something that I'm confident in is if we do have an objective, right? And we keep falling short of it, it's just going to use the most recent discount. And especially because we created those equal highs, right? Seeing that flashing red light, basically, that we're going to come back up here shortly. But yeah, now at this point, we'll just set a wash, right? Huge expansion. We have cleared every buy side objective we had here, 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 and now, right? Ultimately, that daily swing point that we've been looking for some time. And you see, right, we just continue that trending environment that we spoke about the past few days. So trending higher, right? Really not the cleanest delivery, a lot of wicking, but still trending higher like we were speaking about. And that target, equal highs. So yeah, we'll come back. Hold on real quick. Maybe. Internet, hello. Damn. Just trying to see what other news we have here quick. Oh wait, my homie says the thing in the chat. I forget. Let's see. CPI. Yeah, we'll come back for power hour, I think. We'll see what has played out so far today. And then, yeah, we'll see if we can't give ourselves a little power hour setup. One thing to watch is if we do start revisiting now, right? So we've cleared all the buy side and we've cleared that daily high. Notice, right, no bodies closing, simply wicking. If we start retracing now, right, Right, a lot of times you will see that this range actually will get completely refilled now that our objective is hit. So that huge CPI move oftentimes, right, does get retraded into. So if we like break below the volume imbalance, I would really look for us to start gravitating back into at least consequent encroachment here of this this fair value gap. Right, so that's a level, which is kind of aligned with that old buy side as well. So right, this would kind of be a sell side objective to have. No, like, obviously it's not sell side liquidity or anything, but there's just a lower target. If you're gonna hang out the rest of the morning here and kind of look for a play, that is. Just setting up my chart for this afternoon when I get back. Let's see. Yeah, so be interested. Let's do this again. Cool. All right, yeah, I'm gonna leave it here at this. So I have kind of my zone set up that I'll be wanting to see, right, how price reacts here. So basically just underneath consequent encroachment of this huge gap, if we're gonna go lower. And then if we do want to keep pushing, right, we have another daily swing point here, the 45.20 level basically. And then we have a daily volume imbalance here at 45.16. So these are going to be the upward objectives, right? Draw on liquidity if we're going to keep running. As I mentioned, underneath the volume imbalance, I'll look for this area down here. What do you usually do besides working? I game a lot. That's a big part. That's probably what I spend most of my time doing. Just be gaming. What else do I like to do? I mentioned I took up golfing, so I've been going to the range or the golf course every day. Trying to get better. As I mentioned, I moved closer to family, so lately I've been watching my nephew. Pick him up from school. Be a little uncle action. Not much. I'm telling you, I'm a pretty regular person, brother. People have asked me that before. I'm like, I don't really do shit. Not like a big influencer type that you'd see. Not really going out. Took a small gamble short of that high of day wick. Oh, right here. Nah, it's ballsy. It's alright though, turtle soup. Didn't even see the daily swing point due to not being. Oh, well now you know. That's why I prefer this chart, and that's kind of right. I will admit I definitely differ from Michael in that aspect, but that's alright. You kind of had to make it your own, right? Something he's even said himself. Shouldn't try to be a carbon copy of him. And in my own experience, right, my own testing, years of just following the charts. Personally, ES1 for me has just provided more precision. No cold showers. Nah, I did. I used to. That's funny. And what's funny is that when I was still trying to learn, I did. Which is so like cliche. Because, you know, I was on the whole self-improvement binge. So I was like, damn, if I gotta get better discipline, I gotta take cold showers. So I was on the grind for about a good 6 months, cold shower every morning when I wake up. Would we use? Yeah, if we like close, if we were to close underneath the volume imbalance as well, then yeah, I would look to treat this as an inversion here. Because if we got closed under the fair value gap and volume imbalance, I would expect that to be resistance to send us back into this area here. London, hell yeah. I'll be slumped. Trading on Ninja. Yeah, see, that's why I think I'll just stick with Trading View. I've gotten so used to it by now. That and MT4 are the only platforms I'm fully comfortable with. Although MT4 is so old. Oh, brother. Oops. Dun, dun, dun. $8.42 candle could be used as a breaker. Yeah, you could use that. I'm more just looking at the fair value gap itself, though. Oh my god, B, yeah, that looks terrible. What the hell? Would you say that we're accumulating buy stops? I mean, yeah, we'll say that. I don't know if we would say accumulating buy stops, but we just ran liquidity. So it's more of just, right, kind of the recalibration period. Right, are we gonna want to continue to run higher? Or after hitting this buy side liquidity, right, was that all the target, and now are we gonna retrace just into this range here? We are in the weekly gap for ESU. Honestly, Flex, I don't use ESU really at all, but I'll take a peek. Oh, I see what you're referring to. April 11th. Nah. Yeah, to me, brother, I don't really use the I'm not gonna look at the ESU chart like that because it's not a continuous contract. So like a lot of these gaps in here are like contract rollover gaps. Right, whereas, oh, you can't see my other screen, goofy ass. Let me show you side by side. Right, so you're probably referring to this gap here, I'm assuming. But that's really like a contract rollover. Because in here, right, same day, it's just a wick. There's nothing here. Right, so I like to follow this price more because it's just cleaner, true delivery compared to this, right? Where there's gap, 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 gap. Right, there's too many gaps for my liking. So notice we've hit that old high. Right, we bounce on that perfectly delivery. But at this point, because we're under the volume imbalance and this fair value gap, like I said, I would prefer at least equilibrium to be revisited. So we'd have to get underneath the right, this old buy side pull here. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. I'm gonna go get something to eat real quick. And actually, I think we'll come back here in about half an hour. We'll do that. So I'll be back here about 9:45, 9:40. Or actually, 9:30 maybe. Yeah, because I want to see what happens here at the equities open. I understand, however, during CPI, we don't usually get a injection of volatility at the 9:30 open because we've already moved so much. But we'll still see how that plays out. So yeah, well, it'll be a short break here, fellas. We'll be 25, half an hour, and then we'll get back on. So I'm gonna go grab something to eat real quick, relax, and then we shall be back. So yeah, won't be gone too long. We'll see you guys here in about half an hour. I'll send another announcement just before I hop back on so you guys will know. But yeah, we'll talk shortly, everybody. See you guys in a few. Long time no talk. Love to see that. TP Smashed. TP smashed skis. TP2 hopefully gets smashed next for us. Oh. Nice. So yeah, entry here. We can, I guess, run that over. Right, so to be fair, we did say, right, if we're gonna close under the volume imbalance and the fair value gap, that I would expect price to want to continue to wander lower, potentially into this area here. However, oh, 1 second, let's see here. Cool. Yeah, back to it. Right. However, the issue was, as I'm watching this, right, so we did leave how I liked with the fair value gap and the volume imbalance. But as I see this, right, in my mind, if we're going to trade lower, we really shouldn't even trade back above this candle's wick like this. So when I see this candle here, right, close not only above the volume imbalance, but back inside of the fair value gap, and then especially when we then once more push right up and through it on this candle, right, I'm already looking for higher prices. So that idea of going lower, right, has been, for me, really invalidated. And that's okay, and that's why I say I don't really want to force, right? I'm not trying to force a hold to bias a certain way. I have certain things I look for that give me an indication of where price may want to go, but that doesn't mean I'm forcing my bias on the market. So even though I preferred the lower prices, you see that never really worked out. And now we'll go ahead and change this. All right, so I have one more here, just looking for this buy side now. Stop side, yeah, actually, we'll go one above break even. And because we don't want to be greedy, we'll actually just go 40, 10, 5. So we'll try to get another 5 handles. If we don't get it, right, we're stopped in profit, so that's chilling. But we will look to see if we can't hit that, right? Equal highs especially. There we go. Stop in profit. Not bad. So I got in on this old high. Because I like this, right? I wanted to see if we can get up here, which we still probably will. But especially with that volume imbalance we just made here. Trade ideas. Nice. So I actually was able to get back in on that volume imbalance. Now I'm just out. So stopped here on this, right? Break even. As soon as this candle went back up, came back down here, entered, and that was just a quick one. So exit was on this here. So there we go. So 2 dubs. Right, we'll show, wait, let me see. Just to kind of show what I was talking about. Just a quick scalp. Right, this was a super, basically high frequency trading algo type of scalp. That's why I was upset, not upset, but I knew we were gonna hit this. Right, we get tagged out here at break even. So as soon as this volume balance gets actually solidified, right, immediately buying as soon as that next candle opens. And it immediately delivered into our target. So that was nice. Just quick profits. And really this, right after being stopped in profit, this move kind of secures whatever the original move from here to here would have been. So that's pretty good. Yeah, next candle straight away, Matt. So my stop was, it was like this basically. This right there. It's a nice little 1 to 3, one handle stop. Right, and that's the beauty. That's why I love indices. Because in Forex, right, you're gonna struggle to be doing that 1 pip stops. But just because of how precise indices deliver, right? I'm fine doing that. No issues. I had that, ooh, so I'll give you a little sauce, I guess. Right, I wasn't expecting this to be filled, which is why I market ordered as soon as this candle opened. Because usually, right, I would look to enter on the volume imbalance. But because, right, and this is, I guess, a little more advanced technique that I kind of use. Because this candle, right, so when we form this volume imbalance, because we still technically create it, but this candle ran these lows, right, you notice that. So we came out to run stops, and then we reversed, and then we solidified the volume imbalance. Right, the action of us running stops here, to me when I see that, and then we close with the volume imbalance, right, many times a volume imbalance like this will not be traded into prior to our target being ran into. And that's because we've already picked up the stops here, right? So running out to pick up the stops, and especially if we're going to maintain that volume imbalance, right? We've already done so much work to run those stops and reverse that as soon as this candle closes, right, more than often than not, if we have an objective we're reaching for, it's going to shoot right for that target. And that's the logic behind, right, that entry where I share. So as soon as this candle closes, I'm understanding that, well, we've ran sell stops, we've cleared a short-term low, we've returned into a discount, we've returned into the old buy side. We've reversed aggressively, and now we've closed back above the volume imbalance. So I'm entering, right, as soon as that next candle opens, looking for those higher objectives to be met. And you see, it literally was in it for one candle, 1 minute. Entered, immediately exited, got hit with the TP, and now we're chilling. Right, had this candle not ran these lows, so say this wick, right, came like to here, even if it like barely hit the fair value gap and then left that volume imbalance intact, I would still look for that to be used. And honestly, right, you can still look for it now, see just how it reacts, because it was untouched initially until we hit that buy side. But now that we've hit it, right, if we want to come back and use it, we still could potentially do that. Understand? Let's take a quick peek where we are regular, right? So we have, however, this huge gap like we were talking about, right? Huge gap here. And now we have really 1, 2, 3, 4 lows here resting. So if we fail to hold really the volume imbalance here, I think we come for this low, potentially back for this low. Right now we start targeting the lows here. Yeah, I don't get bad feels actually when I market. So like that candle, let's see, this candle closed at 45.12. Oops. 45.12, got in 45. So about half a handle. Because this candle closed at 45.12, right? It opened with the bearish volume imbalance 45.12 and a half, and my actual entry was 45.13. And I only try to market order though when the market's going down. That's why I get the decent fills. If it's like running and I'm trying to market order, nah, I won't do that. Oh shoot, my fault. I didn't start the Zoom again here. I forgot. Okay, should be good. Try that link. So there's that low. Notice the delivery perfectly. Right, closing underneath the old high, possible resistance now here. We'll want to watch for that. With the volume imbalance or the fair value gap there. I'd watch to see for a return into this here for then lower prices is kind of what I would lean towards. If we can close, right? If we can get a candle to close underneath this fair value gap though, that's kind of what I would like to see first. Candle closure underneath this fair value gap, then a return into this bearish fair value gap for lower prices. But it looks like we're just gonna straight gravitate for those lows. Let's remember all the lows that we were pointing out now. We're starting to hit those. So there's sell side here, we have sell side here. Ultimately kind of sell side here as well. So notice we've closed under both of the fair value gaps, right? There's back to back like this, and we're closing under both. So I would look for this to become an immediate rebalance. So if this candle hits this candle's low, I would prefer that that's kind of the highest it returns into as far as the candle body. And then see if we can't reverse from there to attack that equal low that we've just created. So here's our immediate rebalance. I would have liked to see, so I would still want to see it and this candle actually run lower. But I would prefer that this candle actually close underneath consequent encroachment of this. Wait, excuse me. Shoot, where'd it go? Of the fair value gap. So that would have been best case scenario for me. Is if we immediately rebalance with the wick and the actual body closed underneath the midpoint. But the fact that we closed above the midpoint, now we may actually have to revisit higher. That's kind of how I go about classifying that. But still have equal lows. I still like this fair value up here. Let's see what a 5 minutes looking like. All right, 5 minute fair value gap, however, Candle body still holding this 5 minute too, actually. Let's see. 2 minute. Right back up and through it. Okay, so we've negated my original idea here, right? That idea is not right. We're not holding. So if we're gonna push up and through the 1 minute and the bearish, right, are we gonna continue to want to run for this high? So kind of a seek and destroy, high, low, higher, high, lower, low, higher, high. So we do leave the fair value gap there. Yeah, I like that for higher prices. So I'm in here on this fair value gap. Stop is underneath this fair value gap here. Want to see if we can't get back up for this high. That's the trade setup right there. Remember, right, this is the old daily volume imbalance. But we should get up into that buy side. Stop is now moved below the actual entry. So this candle's swing point. Stop here. Stop slightly above break even. Stop losses here. Oh no, excuse me. It's this candle. Like this. Partial with the volume imbalance. But I would want to see this offer a support now that we're above it. It's playing with me. Skadoosh. Boom. There is target again. Cool. So this one is, let me go to Gotta make sure the Zoom folks can see it. I always forget to do that. So right, as we said, wanted to see this offer a short for the equal lows. Instead, right, we push right up and through it while also creating a new fair value gap aligned with buy side. Right, so very obvious here, buy setup, negating a premium, creating new discounts, while also having a buy side objective to meet. So right, that was a real pretty clean, just fair value gap entry, fair value gap into buy side. Not too much, not too much to talk about with that one, I guess. Pretty simple. Tried shorting at 941. Why, brother? Just cause? Fair enough. He said, fuck it, we short. I dig it. I dig it. Oh, okay. I was like, he said, no, we going short. 942 inversion. 912 inversion? I'm guessing you mean, right? But the 942 candle. Can you please run through your last trade idea for longs? The one here we just explained like that? Mainly, is that what? This one? Yeah. So the issue, right here, why am I going long? Well, it's because, for one, we're already, right, kind of trending higher. As we can see, anytime we're retracing into a discount, it's to bounce. Right, retrace, bounce. Right, retrace, bounce. So this retracement, I would have liked to see, right, sell side get cleared like we were kind of marking. But for me, my idea to go long came from the fact it was as soon as this candle closed. So let me start removing some things here. Right, so I'm still thinking of short, potential shorts, potential shorts. I wish I could replay. Hold on. How do I get this thing off the screen, brother? There it is, jeez. Sorry. Right, so when we're here, like we said, I wanted to see if the buy side, right, the old buy side level with this fair value gap here would offer price lower. So as soon as this candle pushes right back up and through not only this fair value gap, but both of the inversions that we created here. Here and here. Right, because let's think. When this candle closes underneath both of these fair value gaps, they should become an inversion if price is going to head lower. Right, so the mere fact that after creating this inversion, both of these, we instead reverse and push right up and through them, as well as the most recently formed bearish fair value gap and back above the old buy side pool. Right, that right there was basically the indication for me to go long. Once I see now the actual fair value gap get formed, right, so when this candle closes and now we leave a fair value gap aligned with all of this, I mean, that's basically, right, 100% all good to go. All systems check, high probability entry. Right, we tap into it, entry on the old buy side pool, and as you see, we immediately reprice. And here we are now. Right, so we should hit this buy side as well. Yeah, this is final TP, Steve. because this is the old high for me, right? So this was just the inner range volume imbalance here, but this level is the actual buy side pull, so that would be my final. And we should be getting there rather soon. Still behind. Hey, don't feel. Listen, fellas, it's CPI, right? This, and I feel like I'm giving you a bad indication of what you should expect because you see me doing this with ease, right? Rather easily. That's only because I fucked up how many times, right? You're not seeing all the times that I tried to trade during CPI and got my ass just handed to me, right? You guys don't see all the times that I questioned whether or not I'd be able to do it, right? You don't see the times that basically I do everything wrong, right? All you see now is kind of the highlights of the years of experience and work that I've put into it, right? So it makes it seem easier than it actually is. So I'm actually out now. So I was trailing my stop to this swing point here. Just tagged me out. So we may still hit TP, but it'll be without me at this point, which is fine. Where's your final TP? It's right here. This is just a daily high. Just BS. It is, brother. I feel you, Jake. It sucks. I will give you that. No sugarcoating. This shit sucks, brother. It's the worst thing. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, as I say. And it's not because, right, there's no physical demand to it, but that's what makes it harder, I feel like. Because, like, for me, right, I spent most of my life being an athlete, so, like, the physical aspect of things I was always good at. So it was like having to learn how to fight that mental struggle every day. That mental capital, that mental baggage that we deal with. Trading really brings that out of you. He said NQ sickest sister ever. Let's go ahead and I'm done trading for the day. Actually, I had some good setups. Don't want to force it with CPI, but I want to tape read this here. So let's see this. Right, this would kind of be a potential tape read / paper trade. After clearing out this low and this candle breaking back above, right, I would look for something like this to take place. So this would be a baby 1-to-1, right? You can even push it to 1-to-2, but I like to just follow price. Right, once I'm kind of done actually engaging for the morning, I still want to follow to see if I can't be on sides with it. Definitely multiple. On the 1 minute for sure, but all that. Oh yeah. So you always gotta have a higher time frame understanding. But regardless, it's still a drain. Having to learn is never easy. Shorts. I feel bad because I told y'all to look for shorts. That's why I say don't listen to me, fellas. I'm simply giving my thoughts. Oh. Stocked. That one holds though. Oops. Right, so this is an old buy side pull. So even if we do retrace, right, so we're not holding this candle, I'm still favoring this actually. Let me see what discounts we can get. Right, we have a 5 minute fair value gap. Here. So I'm still looking for higher prices. I'm not abandoning that idea. Want to see these relative equal highs now just underneath the daily level get ran through. That'd be my... Because you notice on the 5 minute, we're still holding above the daily volume imbalance, right? So the volume imbalance that we push up through, this one here, right? When you push up and through it, we would expect for this to offer a support, and on the 5 minute, no candles are closing under that. Right? So still giving us what we're wanting. Just choppy, just a high resistance liquidity run into it. Right, same thing we had here. Even here, really. Right, so we're running out buy side, but notice how it's doing it rather lackluster, right? It's giving retracement before creating engineering liquidity, right? Retracing before running it. So I'm taking the same thing here, right? We run liquidity, we run buy side, create and engineer liquidity, right? Give us a slight retracement potentially to pick up some sell stops before reversing to actually clear out that buy side. Right, so we're not in the market of calling tops, as I often say. So I think buy side's still here. Hey, well, I'm glad you enjoy it, Matt. Glad you find it beneficial. Like, yeah, my Twitter honestly has plenty enough, which is why I don't really promote this, right? I mean, I guess I have the link in my Twitter, but that's about it. Because I figure I post all that free shit. If people like it and they do want to, like, obviously, right, go deeper, they got the link. But shit, maybe I should start promoting. My girlfriend keeps getting mad at me about it. She cracks me up. Why don't you tweet more? I'm like, girl, chill out. I ain't trying to do all that. I don't want to be a salesman. Do you trade PPI? Yeah, PPI I'll trade like I usually, just a normal day. It's not as aggressive as CPI or FOMC or NFP. Most of the time anyway. matter of fact, let me just double check. Make sure I got my times right. Yo, what's going on with my fax book here? That shit broke. Damn. Well, I guess I gotta use a different. What do you guys? Oh wait, Econoday. I was like, for some reason my FX book is lacking. Economic or Forex Factory. That's a good one. Cool. There it is, yeah. So PPI 8:30. We'll just be on tomorrow for the equities open. Three drives forming on the 5. Yep. Right, so that's why I would like to see this one get hit, and then we could start going lower, especially because this will be a daily buy-side pool. All right, from this low, 1, 2, third drive into buy-side before the reversal would be ideal. Minute. Let's check out the 5 minute. Concentrate encroachment. So I have one last entry. This will be my final for the day. I just want to see if we can't get that buy side here. Oh, she got filled. Oh, that was a brutal fill. What the hell? What was that at? 55. Jeez, brother. So we're here. Stop's actually under this candle now. I would want us to, nice, hell yeah. So get me into that buy side. Just keep running, just keep running. Facts. That's how it be, man. I always be saying the final. I feel like it's because usually I'm like, all right, I'm staying out. And then something happens that's so like just jumps off the chart. I'm like, oh, I got to enter on that. But at this point, right, because we have so many equal highs here, my stop's already at break even. So risk-free trade, right? Because really, we should hold this fair value gap here if we're going to expand. So I'm fine having my stop up here. Skadoosh. And once again, TP smashed. Random reaction. Bet. Just so y'all see, we are here with it. Let's go change window. You should be seeing this chart now. Cool. Boom. So there we go. Right, as we were saying, 5-minute fair value gap. We're simply returning into the 5-minute fair value gap. Right, candle bodies are still holding this. Bodies tell the story, wicks doing the damage. So understanding that on the lower time frame, I'm entering on a wick. Right, so we're entering as we're hitting this volume imbalance, this down close candle. But I understand that this is a wick on the 5-minute. So I'm entering on the manipulation. Right, getting in here, catching the low, catching the swing low, exiting at the swing high. So that is our morning here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades, 4 winners, 1 stopped in profit. SMT on the highs. Take a look at the highs. Give me 1 sec to readjust all this. Then I gotta go here. I need to get like a stream deck low key. That's what I'm thinking. Have some hotkeys so I could change between windows quick. Then we're here. All right, we're back. That'd be sick. SMT. Let's run side by side. I'm not tripping. Let's see. What do we got the hourly showing us? Sheesh. Daily. I'm not getting SMT to be honest, Jazz. Unless you're looking at a specific time frame, I'm not looking at. I'm not. For me, this is all just look like higher prices, right? Just pushing up higher slowly. Or what were you? I guess what were you? Oh, with YM. Okay, maybe. That's fair. I don't fucking look at YM. Let's see though. Here. High. I mean, maybe here now, yeah. But I don't really put much weight into YM myself, to be honest. Just a personal preference, right? Not saying that's right or wrong. But as far as kind of my trading, I hardly ever look at this one. Because to me, you could say, yeah, sure, SMT, but I'm also seeing, right, potential just inversion to deliver into the high. To be honest, fellas, we're just chilling here at this point. 4 entries, 4 winners. I'm very content with the morning, especially with it being CPI. And to be honest, I'll probably won't even come back in the afternoon anymore now that we have gotten 2 more winners here this morning. And we'll try to hit home runs all the time. Smart B, yep. Good mentals. If the small wins are consistent, they will build up over time. That's a fact. You got to print that out, laminate it, big letters. That was one of the biggest things that I had to fight as well. And it's funny because we all go through really the same process. That's what's really unique. It's the same process, just slightly different with our own personal quirks, right? But I feel like the actual process of it is pretty similar to everybody. Like I had that same mindset in my development as well, to where I felt as if, and it comes from, in my mind, it comes from a lack of confidence in my ability. But right early on, I felt as if I had to catch huge trades all the time because I wouldn't be able to catch like another move. Or I felt that if I wasn't catching big trades, right, I wasn't going to be able to make consistent money. But now, with my current understanding, right, with my current skill set, I'm almost the complete opposite way. To where I would rather, kind of as you see, right, I'd rather get in and out quickly, short scalps to gather, rather than enter a trade and try to hold it all day. You got to realize, right, even if you made $100 a day, that's plenty. $200 a day, that's more than most people make. Right, so you got to see it as kind of a low threshold, repeatable event. Whereas for me, like when I first pictured like becoming a trader, right, the picture I had in my mind was like, one day I'm gonna make $5,000. The next day I'm gonna make $10,000. I'm not gonna trade. The next day I'm gonna make 5,000. It's like that's so false. Like once you get proper capital, sure. But in reality, right, $500 a day, $600 a day, repeat that over 20 days. That is a pretty good salary for a lot of people, I'd say. Right, easy $10,000 plus a month. Exactly, B. And that's why I love this method and model so much. 5 handles can be found any day, regardless of what's taking place. And as we said, right, that doesn't mean, oh, we're in there every day trying to get it. No, it just means that we know that any day, right, if we really need to catch 5 handles, especially if we're waiting for the right day, right, that's going to be easy. And as you said, would you guys complain if I said I'll give you guys $400 every day? I don't think anyone's complaining about that. But it's just the fact that in trading you could say, oh well, I could be making 1,000, right? We always want to compare it to what we could be doing rather than what we need to do to actually just kind of get started. And it's cool because once you do get, like, I'll admit, right, once well, I guess not once, but the fact that I am where I am at now, right, I kind of have a secure, we'll say, financial plan to fall back on, right? I'm not relying on trading income like I was to make a living. Now it's even easier for me to actually, right, hold on to trades. It's kind of ironic. Like, the fact that I don't need to rely on trading has made me a better trader. Which I guess, right, that's what people often say. So just reaffirming that is very true. The less you're emotionally attached to anything that goes on in the charts, the more objective you'll be. The more you'll be able to just trade with, right, that flow state, I like to call it. Right, that's kind of how it was today, to be honest, I felt. Like, a lot of the entries I took today would just came. Like, I wasn't even thinking about it. I saw something I liked, right, executed on it. And because it's just something that I've practiced so many times, of course it's going to play out kind of as I've been expecting. 4 handles, $200 a day, $50K a year. That is above average. Not many people I know make $50K a year. Oh, let's see. Hard to tell where ES is going. I mean, ES for me. So you already hit that daily high. Volume imbalance. Right, in this case, I'm just continuing to go with daily highs. So the next daily high would be here. April 6th high. I still prefer, though, I would like to run stops first before we go higher, to be honest. Like, we can kind of keep delivering like we are, right? Just stair stepping, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. But I would like to see a run on at least like one of these short-term lows. So maybe come back down to pick up this low before reversing. Let's see what a higher time frame's looking like. 5 minute. Yeah, so right, maybe we do something like that. To where you see we have a little baby sliver of this 5 minute left that we didn't touch. Sorry, so this is only if we're gonna get back below this, right? Because we could easily keep trending here, but if we're gonna start retracing, I would like to see a run on this low into the 5 minute fair value gap again, and then see if we don't want to hold. But notice right on the 5 minute how the candle bodies now after closing above the buy side are holding. So as we often say, right, same way we did here, same way we did here. If we're going to close above buy side, we're going to look for that to offer support. Right? If we close above buy side, we look for that to offer support. Even here, right, close above buy side, offer support. So same thing here. Continue to watch candle bodies. Hey, no problem, brisket. Take care, brother, if you're headed out. Have a good rest of the day. Yeah. Should be very content. I'm very content as well. And this would be a day where, right, as soon as I took that trade, well, to be honest, if I wasn't streaming, I'd be just gaming while I'm doing this. Gaming on one monitor, got the charts pulled up on the other. As soon as all my targets are hit, charts have been closed, and it's full game mode. Game sesh, baby. A decent dev makes at least 150. I mean, that is true. But how many people are devs? Shit, what's that average? The American average is like 40K a year. Nah, that might be wrong. Let me look it up. Average salary in America. Let's see what we got. Do we got guesses? What do people think it is? What's the median annual wage? Wow, okay. Damn, see, y'all cheating. Y'all already looked it up. I know you did. Go cap. A little higher than I thought, but not much. 45 is what it says. As of 2021, we don't got the updated statistics. Medium annual wage in 2021, 45K. So let's think real quick. Let's reverse engineer. Let's see, 45K. That means you're making probably 4,000 a month, which means, let's say there's, doing some math, some quick maths. We got, I'm gonna pull up the calculator. I was what? Yeah, decent. Chill out. America's not that broke. No, we kind of are now. Shit. Let's go 45. Not about 12. 3,700 a month. Okay. So say 3,750 a month. Divide that by how many trading days would we say are in a month? 30 days. You only really have, say, 2 weekends. These 4, 8. You're already down to 22. And you got high impact news. Shit, we'll say you only have 15 tradable days out of the 30-day month. $250 a day. So that's literally 5 handles with one. That's crazy. So if you could pull 5 handles with one contract, not even every day, 15 days out of the month, that's the national average right there. And that's easy. My girl likes to watch this. Below Deck. Hey, that's hype. I've heard of that shit. That's comedy. Damn. Yeah, see, that's the thing. People, 30K for a tip. Chill out. I'd like to get there. I always tell my girlfriend, I'd like to get to the point where, like, when we go out to dinner, I just leave fucking fat tips. Leave 2K on the bill. Here you go. In cash. Bink on the table. That'd be sick. To have the payment. And there you go. So see, with Top Step, if you're with them, right, literally, get your $250 for the day, call it a day. Come back the next day, get your $250 for the day, call it a day. And that's only one contract. Right, so imagine now you get comfortable doing that, and now you increase to 2. Just like that, you've already doubled. By not doing anything but adding an extra contract, you've already doubled your profits. People just need to, I think people run into the issue of that get rich quick, which I definitely had that too as well. That's not people, everybody falls into that trap. Facts, right? That's hilarious. Get rich quick means you'll definitely get broke fast. That is very true. Let's see, past Customer challenge, proper management. I don't know, I could put that short stop you put in when it's not appropriate. All right, Mike. Well, first of all, let's see. My question is, were you relying on your job to make you money? Because I'll be honest, right? If you were relying on that as an income source and you quit doing that and you're kind of solely trying to make it trading, right? It's going to be a lot harder, kind of as we just explained. Okay, cool. That's fine. Just being sure. Unless all these months. I guess another thing I'll tell you is, right, it's not a linear progression. So don't feel any type of way if you feel as if you're making progress, right, and you kind of take a step back. I often explained it to people when I would try to just talk about it. I felt like I would take, right, 1 step forward, 2 steps back at times, to where things would start to be clear, right, and then all of a sudden it's like, what the heck? It's almost like I forgot what I was doing, forgot everything I was learning. Bro, I'm sure you kind of also understand that, so just kind of keep pushing through, right, continue to show up, as we say, every day. Times like you're feeling now, right, those dark periods where it feels like you may not figure out, where you feel lost, that's really when that most improvement's going to come, right? If you can commit yourself, if you can have that discipline to continue to just show up, regardless of how shitty you feel, right, regardless of how, even if you're having bad trades, right, you're still having an opportunity to learn. I would advise keep on journaling, right? If you're not journaling every single day, and this really goes for anybody, if you're not journaling, if you're not going back at the end of the day and journaling, right, you're really wasting the best opportunity to learn. And I really mean every day. I would go back in for almost a year straight, every single day, right, regardless, Monday through Friday. Didn't matter if it was a half day, didn't matter if it was NFP, didn't matter. It really didn't matter what was taking place, right? It doesn't mean I'm trading it live, but I would go in afterwards and I would see what took place, how I could have been involved, and I would mark that up, right? And as you do this day in, day out, you start to see the repeatable patterns. You start to see the things that play out over and over again, right? And not only that, you also start to see how you can prevent yourself from making, right, silly mistakes. As far as the short stops, right, these tight stops that you want to get comfortable with, once again, I hate saying it, but that really just comes with, right, that experience of seeing the live market play out. Because you start to understand, right, which PD arrays should not be violated if your ideas are correct. Like for me, right, I'm seeing this volume imbalance and this 5-minute fair value gap. And I'm understanding that, yeah, right, we get close to the low of the 5-minute fair value gap, but I'm perfectly okay having, right, this tiny ass stop like this. What is that? Right, I mean, it really was one handle. I'm okay with this because I understand if we are bullish, right, in a bullish day, especially with the volume imbalance here, the 5-minute fair value gap should not be breached. Right, so since I understand that, it makes perfect sense to have the stop below that, regardless of where the actual entry point is. Right, so that's just a confidence thing. Confidence in understanding where price will go, right? Which premiums and discounts will hold us. And that doesn't mean that I'm right all the time, right? Like this could have easily ran and stopped me out. That just means my idea is wrong. But because I've seen it play out so many times in this sense, I'm okay with that, right? The probabilities are in my favor, we say. All a game of probabilities. One thing that may help, something that I did, was to actually not worry on being so precise. Right, so say that you have an entry you're looking to enter on. Like say we still wanted to enter here. Right, what I would do for a little bit was, even if I wanted my stop to be below the 5-minute, I would widen it more. Right, I would almost go a minimum 4 handles. And sure, the RR is not the greatest, but you're not really worried about that, right? You're worried about the process of learning how to read price. And by doing this, right, this allowed me to trade without emotional attachment. So when I still had to deal with that early on, right, and I was still worried about the outcome of the trades, opening my stops allowed me to still, right, enter where I would expect. But instead of, oh my God, being so worried, right, what's going to happen? It gives me room to breathe and lets me kind of see how the trade plays out. It's a grind, Mr. Mike. Do not give up, my dog. See, the only way you ever fail in this is if you give up. It's only a matter of time. Yep. Higher time frames will help as well. Right, if you're getting lost on lower time frames a lot. And it may not be fun to hear, right, because people love these lower time frames, but it is true that, yeah, the higher time frames just give you more room for error. The candles move slower, right? Gives you more time to kind of think, more time to set up your plan. Whereas here on the 1 minute, you really need to be fluid in your understanding because of how quick things change. I mean, here was a beautiful example of that, right? My bias went from bearish to bullish in a matter of, let's see, 1, 2, really 3 candles. Never give up, never, facts. The way I see it, Mike, you're already putting in all the struggle, right? You're already feeling shitty. You might as well get something out of it. That's what stopped me from giving up a lot of times. I'd blow someone like, yo, fuck this trading. I hate this. And I'd sit there and like, bro, I already put so much time into it. I was like, I already feel so shitty. If I stop now, I'm just gonna feel even more shitty because I just gave up. Whereas if I've already put in all this struggle, I might as well get something positive out of it. And the risk is definitely, or not the risk, the reward definitely outweighs the risk and the time that you put in. I know I'm gonna trade. Yes, sir. Beautiful mindset, Mike. Yeah. You'll figure it out. You'll be a trader, no doubt. Like I said, just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if you figure it out, it's just a matter of when. Hey, muted, I was talking, my bad. But I was just trying to say, right, growth is a very uncomfortable process. And that's why many people don't know they're growing. I don't need trading at all, and I keep trying. I see. Hey, that's fair too, Fresky. Like, some people don't rely on it. It's just that freedom, maybe, that they enjoy. Or, right, some people don't even want to do it full time. Some people want to do it as just another supplemental type of income. Right? Like, so say you already do have a good job, a good salary that you enjoy. Well, then maybe that, right, that 5 model ends model is all you need. An extra $2,000 or $3,000 a month on top of what you already make. Oh, okay. Businessman. Hell yeah. Good for you, my dog. I feel that. Independence. Pave your own way. Notice that redelivery. Right, so as we say, we're still looking for higher prices. But before doing so, it needs to pick up sell stops. So it didn't run out this one. simply returned into this fair value gap we had marked out. But notice, right, it still picked up sell stops. In perfect delivery into the 1 minute. Perfect. Notice how we create equal highs, retrace again. Well, what did we do here? Well, the tiny friends, right, those are sell stops. Micro. Short-term low cleared, breaking highs, inversion. Right, so you see how we can continue to just, right, enter. And this is why when we are trending higher like this, right, it's nice. You could add and stack a lot of positions. Freedom is my biggest risk. Hell yeah, brisk. Yeah. And I think that's what, right, we say like I say I got it in it for the money, but that's really not true. Like if I think about it, I wanted money so I could not have to work, which really just means I wanted, like you say, freedom to do what I want. You know what I mean? And that's something that I realized once I did actually start making money. Cause like early on I was like, oof, I'm trying to make $1 million a year, $2 million a year. I'm trying to be just rolling in the dough. But as I started actually making money, right, my life became a lot more comfortable. I was able to do the things I wanted to do. I realized that I'm honestly fine with where I'm at. And of course, that doesn't mean I'm settling. I'm still always pushing, right? Always trying to increase my capital. But it just means that I kind of had that perspective change to where all I really wanted to learn how to trade was so I had the freedom to do what I want, right when I want. Kind of like you guys are saying. And for the money, stay for the freedom. Beautiful, yeah. And a good way to bring it is, right, that money brings freedom, unfortunately. You need the money to have the freedom. Unfortunate part of the way the world works, which is whack. So, right, if the game's rigged, gotta learn how to play the game. That's kind of as I saw it. Well, fellas, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this one up today. Pretty good stream this morning, honestly. It was a good one. I enjoyed it. Got to watch CPI play out, which was nice. Right, so we get really all of our buy-side objectives that we were met. And as we say, right, CPI often one-sided. So that is why, boom, one-sided. This here was really kind of what led me. So two things, right? Move this first. Hitting the old high perfectly and then breaking above the volume imbalance is what really, right, flipped my mind to bullish bias the remainder of the morning. Because we did mention how, right, we would want to see price return into this, but the fact that we had hit this high, right, this old buy side pull, and I mean absolute perfect, right, to the tick, was just the market showing its hand, right? It's tipping that it doesn't want to return any lower than the old high. Perfect delivery. And then as we said, right, we're confirming that once we close above the volume imbalance. Really, once we close, if you want the full confirmation, closing above consequent encroachment of the 1 minute inversion right here. Right, so this kind of sets the stage for higher prices. This candle here confirms it. The volume imbalance here, right, double confirms it. And from there, we were just simply looking for higher prices all morning, right? So anytime that we were creating buy side, we understood that it was just engineering liquidity. So any retracement lower, right, was an opportunity to get long, to run into that buy side, right? Engineering liquidity, retracing into a discount, get long, attack buy side. Engineer liquidity, retrace into a discount, get long, attack buy side. But yeah, we'll actually go ahead and leave it here. Like I mentioned, I actually won't be back for Power Hour today just because of right, the success we had this morning. I'm content with that, chilling with that. Go do something else I enjoy for the rest of the day. As should you guys. We will be back tomorrow morning for equities open, 9:30 Eastern. So plan for that. But yeah, until then, have a good rest of the day. I appreciate you guys sitting in today. Hopefully you found it helpful, even maybe a little inspiring for those that may be struggling. Right, understand we all been there. Never give up. You'll get through it. Just a matter of time. But yeah, we'll talk tomorrow, everybody. See you guys.